Calaroga Shark Media.
Hi, and welcome to Taylor Swift Today. Her much-anticipated 11th studio album, The Tortured Poets Department, has been unveiled after 2 months of fervent anticipation from her devoted fans. As Swifties meticulously analyze each and every lyric of the 31-track record, it comes as no surprise that it's filled to the brim with intricate details and Easter eggs that are sure to send them into a frenzy. The album, which Taylor has dubbed a double album after surprising fans with 15 bonus tracks, takes numerous swipes at her former flames, Joe Alwyn and Maddie Healy. However, fans are also observing that Taylor has infused the album with various hints and homages, including a nod to her famous Lucky Number. Here's a comprehensive breakdown of each track on the Tortured Poets Department with help from the Daily Mail. Let's start with tracks 1 through 16. Track 1, Fortnight, featuring Post Malone. Taylor appears to reference the end of her relationship with Joe Alwyn and her subsequent fling with Maddie Healy in the first track on her album. The first verse appears to hint at the end of her romance with Joe as she sings, "I was supposed to be sent away, but they forgot to come and get me." Taylor then wishes an ex well who betrayed her. All of this to say, "I hope you're okay, but you're the reason. No one here's to blame, but what about your quiet treason?" In the second verse, Taylor talks about a short-lived fling that helped her move on, potentially a reference to Matt. She sings, "All my mornings are Mondays stuck in an endless February. I took the miracle move on drug and the effects were temporary. And I love you, it's ruining my life. I touched you for only a fortnight." 2. The Tortured Poets Department. The titular track is a shimmering melody which suggests that Taylor, modestly, doesn't see herself at the top table of tortured poets. "You're not Dylan Thomas, and I'm not Patti Smith." It also appears to heavily reference her fling with Maddie as she sings, "You smoked, then ate 7 bars of chocolate. We declared Charlie Puth should be a bigger artist. I scratch your head, you fall asleep like a tattooed golden retriever, but you awaken with dread." She also makes a candid reference to her mental health, singing, "But you told Lucy you'd kill yourself if I ever leave, and I had said that to Jack about you, so I felt seen." 3. My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. Written solely by Taylor, this song's dense electronic hum adds forceful notes. Fans have suggested the title is a reference to the shiny toy she sang about in her hit Cruel Summer from the album Lover. It's not clear if she is referring to heartbreak after splitting from Joe or the abrupt end to her romance with Maddie. "Once I fix me, he's gonna miss me," she vows, adding, "I know I'm just repeating myself, put me back on my shelf. But first, pull the string and I'll tell you that he runs because he loves me. He loves me." 4. Down Bad. Taylor references mental health again as she details how down she feels without an ex and the infatuation she felt with him. "Everything comes out teenage petulance," sings Taylor as she bitterly surveys the fallout from an old relationship. She continues, "Everything comes out teenage petulance. F it if I can't have him. I might just die. It would make no difference. Down bad, waking up in blood slash, staring at the sky. Come back and pick me up. F it if I can't have us. I might just not get up. I might stay down bad." At number 5, So Long, London. The first track to be written with the National's Aaron Dessner brings a change of pace with a lovely choral intro. "So long, London, you'll find someone," sings Taylor. The song appears to be a reference to British ex-Joe and a follow-up to her hit London Boy from Lover. She references their different approaches to the end of their romance, singing in the first verse, "I kept calm and carried the weight of the rift, pulled him in tighter each time he was drifting away. My spine split from carrying us up the hill." Verse 3, she muses, "And you say I abandoned the ship, but I was going down with it. My white-knuckle dying grip holding tight to your quiet resentment." 6. But Daddy, I love him. "I know he's crazy, but he's the one I want," sings Taylor, showing wry humor as she admits to falling for the bad boys, produced with real brightness by Dessner. She goes on to revel in the fact she dismisses warning from critics, singing, "They slammed the door on my whole world. The one thing I wanted, now I'm running with my dress unbuttoned." Screaming, "But Daddy, I love him. I'm having his baby. No, I'm not, but you should see your faces." 7. Fresh Out, The Slammer. Finger-picked acoustic guitar adds folky notes reminiscent of lockdown albums Folklore and Evermore to fresh out the slammer, which details rushing into a new relationship. Seemingly a reference to her fling with Maddie, who she previously dated in 2015. She sings, "Now pretty baby, I'm running back home to you. Fresh out the slammer, I know who my first call will be to." On the decay of her past relationship, she sings, "Splintered back in winter, silent dinners, bitter he was with her in dreams, gray and blue and fights in tunnels, handcuffed to the spell I was under. For just 1 hour of sunshine, years of labor, locks and ceilings, in the shade of how he was feeling." 8. Florida, featuring Florence and the Machine. An album highlight, this theatrical duet with London singer Florence Welch is an uplifting song of escape from small-town life and a bad romance. Tellingly, the first tour stop following her split from Joe was in Tampa, Florida, and she begins her song by singing, "You can beat the heat if you beat the charges too. They said I was a cheat. I guess it must be true. And my friends all smell like weed or little babies. And this city reeks of driving myself crazy." The 9th track is Guilty as Sin, a tale of unrequited love and a superb slice of 1980s style soft rock. It even mentions The Downtown Lights, a 1989 single by Scottish band The Blue Nile. She begins the track with her feelings on being trapped in a relationship, singing, "My boredom's bone deep. This cage was once just fine. Am I allowed to cry? I dream of cracking locks, throwing my life to the wolves or the ocean rocks." She hints at an emotional affair providing her release, singing, "These fatal fantasies giving way to labored breath, taking all of me, we've already done it in my head. If it's make-believe, why does it feel like a vow we'll both uphold somehow?" 10. Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? Big drums, a dramatic arrangement, and more dry humor in another song penned solely by Taylor. "You wouldn't last an hour in the asylum where they raised me," she snarls. It's reminiscent of her hit single Look What You Made Me Do, and the villain arc is prominent in her lyrics. She sings, "I was tame, I was gentle till the circus life made me mean. Don't you worry, folks, we took out all her teeth. Who's afraid of little old me? Well, you should be." 11. I Can Fix Him. No, really, I can. A moody, stripped-down number worthy of Lana Del Rey, who has also worked extensively with the song's producer, Jack Antonoff. She appears to be referring to chain-smoking, booze-loving Maddie as she sings, "The smoke cloud billows out his mouth like a freight train through a small town. The jokes that he told across the bar were revolting and far too loud." Fans had expressed their concerns when Taylor started dating the 1975 bad boy rocker, and it seems her friends had the same reservations. Taylor sings, "They shake their heads, saying, 'God help her,' when I tell him he's my man. But your good Lord doesn't need to lift a finger. I can fix him. No, really, I can. And only I can." The 12th track is LOML. "You said I'm the love of your life," sings Taylor on this warm, resonant piano ballad. In a smart twist, the LOML ultimately becomes the loss of my life. She describes being love-bombed by an old flame, seemingly referring to Maddie given their past experience. Others have suggested the intensity of the lyrics suggest it relates to her long-term relationship with Joe. She sings, "I felt a glow like this, never before and never since, / if you know it in one glimpse, it's legendary. You and I go from one kiss to getting married, still alive, killing time at the cemetery, never quite buried." 13. I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. More 1980s influences on an electronic pop track that sees Taylor vowing to remain a trooper, despite any romantic strife. She sings about putting on a brave face while her relationships publicly fall apart, noting, "They said, babe, you gotta fake it till you make it, and I did. Lights, camera, bitch smile, even when you wanna die. He said he'd love me all his life, but that life was too short. Breaking down, I hit the floor, all the pieces of me shattered as the crowd was chanting more." Taylor has previously admitted she struggled with her love life playing out so publicly and the narrative that she'd had more boyfriends than other women. More in a moment. The 14th song is "The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived." "You didn't measure up in any measure of a man," sings a disdainful Taylor on a melodramatic ballad. The title is noteworthy given that Maddie's stature is an object of some debate. The singer previously disclosed, "Everyone in the 1975 is 6'4" and I'm 5'10", so everyone thinks that I'm 5'5". More recently, he addressed these short man allegations by telling a fan that he was sick to effing death of this, insisting that he is a big boy. She sings, "And I don't miss what we had, but could someone give a message to the smallest man who ever lived?" 15. The Alchemy. Not all the songs are about heartbreak, as sporting metaphors aplenty suggest a track inspired by the singer's current boyfriend, American football star Travis Kelce. "When I touch down, call the amateurs and cut them from the team," she sings. Speaking about the upcoming release back in February, when he was building up to the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, Kelce said he had heard some of the songs on Taylor's latest release. "I have heard some of it, and yes, it's unbelievable," he said to reporters. "I can't wait for her to shake up the world when it finally drops." The last track is Clara Bow. It's tempting to think Taylor sees something of herself in a closing track inspired by Clara, an American actress of the 1920s, who lived her life in the Hollywood Goldfish Bowl. She goes on to reference Stevie Nicks as she details struggling with the trappings of fame. Taylor sings, "I'm not trying to exaggerate, but I think I might die if I made it. Die if I made it. No one in my small town thought I'd meet these suits in LA. They all want to say." That's it for part 1 of the song breakdown from the Tortured Poets department. We'll have part 2 tomorrow with the bonus tracks. Until then, I'm Annalise Idle, and this is Taylor Swift Today. My thanks to Mark Francis and John McDermott. This has been a production of Calaroga Shark Media. Some portions may have production assistance by AI.